afternoon, freaks. I'm here to give Virgo an eclipse season predictions read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we're going to dive into the energies that will be in play this eclipse season, which got kicked off on 4/20 with that Aries double new moon solar eclipse, and was further amplified on the 5th of this month when we had the Scorpio full moon penumbral lunar eclipse. Okay, so we are really looking at a span of time here where these energies will be in play. There's going to be positive elements, there's going to be difficult elements, challenging elements. We are wrapping up a very important karmic cycle. We're heading up to the changing of those nodes of destiny in July, when we have Aries taking over the North Node and Libra taking over the South Node, so weighing up a lot in the scales. Please tune into your intuition when receiving these reads. Flip-flop roles as you need to. Understand, especially with the nature of this read, cross-watcher energy can come in. You'll know your place in the storyline, all right? I also speak to any message that comes in. I don't censor myself. I don't block what wants to come in. So not every message is going to be for you. Do be aware that when we're speaking of a collective, we're speaking of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So you're not all going to have exactly the same story going on, which is why I try to speak to as many different storylines as possible that come in. I just don't, if it comes in, it's coming in for a reason. Okay, I got sentience there. So somebody needs to hear that. You know, if something's not resonating with you, it's not for you. Set it aside. Doesn't make it wrong. It's just not your story. Okay. Just not your story. We're going to dive right into it. I don't want to waste any time. I got an initial download that came in for you, Virgo. First of all, it's a relief to kind of drop into your energy. I have to say that. I feel like sort of a rootedness in your energy right now that maybe hasn't been present in recent times. I think something kind of came down with a thud. A judgment came down with a thud. It sort of brought you back down to earth. I think you've been dealing with sort of feeling out of your element, not really in your energy, and that destabilized you for a little bit. Some of you may have been dealing with another earth sign in relationship, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This person, you know, has dealt with a lot of insecurities. This may be insecurities related to being able to really be a provider. Financially, maybe they lost their job, or they were dealing with some kind of financial challenges, and this sort of knocked them out of their element a little bit. This could also be because of emotional security, just having a hard time letting their feelings come forward, having a hard time moving into this concept of commitment, you know, what it really means to be committed, maybe having insecurities related to past relationships, this causing some blockages, some challenges in the connection. I feel like you had to kind of, you know, really step back from situations a little bit. You had to get really clear with yourself and what you were feeling. I feel like in cases where you were dealing with another who was dealing with their own personal insecurities, these got projected on you to a certain level. And there was a need for you to get a little space for yourself to look at things and really feel out what was coming up for you. Maybe also you felt a little insecure because of this person. Maybe in some way you were dealing with somebody who didn't really understand your worth, didn't really see your value, somebody who hasn't really shown you a certain level of appreciation, something around this coming through that affected the self-esteem, wanting to feel seen, wanting to feel recognized, wanting to feel appreciated. I feel like there's this certain understanding that came through for you that first it begins with you, it begins with yourself. And once you show up for yourself in this way, really allowing yourself to be seen, right? Allowing yourself to be heard. Some of this may have had to do around emotional expression, just feeling a certain sense of insecurity around revealing your deeper emotions, really letting somebody into the heart space. Maybe you really did let somebody into your heart space. This destabilized you a little bit because it brought up a lot of old patterns, a lot of old fears, a lot of old experiences. These seeped into the present. I feel like you're sorting this out right now, but I do feel like something came down recently, some kind of judgment. This could just simply be you reached a certain awareness. You reached a certain awareness that helped you see the truth in a situation, helped you see the truth about yourself, what your desires, what will really give you happiness, what you're looking to create for yourself, what love looks like for you. Love really at the mainframe. What does it mean to have a partner? What does it mean to have somebody by my side? What does it look like to have that person really show up? What that would look like for me? Understanding love languages, understanding that not everybody is going to have the same love language. How do you communicate with one another when you have different love languages? How do you get on the same page? How do you bridge that gap? I think there's been a lot of reevaluating. I also feel like there's this piece of really wanting to get yourself established financially. And this also has like a trickle down effect into your relationships, into your connections, not just romantically, but all across the board. Just feeling like you can kind of hold your own, that you have something you've built for yourself, something you're investing in, and that this is like, this is your baby, you know, it's how you do get to be seen. Maybe you're starting to realize this. This is how I get to be seen. This is how I get to be appreciated when I pour my energy and my time and my focus into things that are meaningful for me, things I want to build for myself. This is when I feel my self esteem rise. This is when I really feel like I'm in my element. This feels good to me. A lot of you are starting to think about what kind of future you want to create for yourself, and especially in terms of your career, what that looks like, what projects you want to invest your energy into. I think you're reevaluating commitments, you're reevaluating romantic commitments, you're also reevaluating commitment just in general. What does it mean to be commitment? Be commitment. Interesting. Maybe you're really needing to embody that spirit of commitment. Maybe it begins with yourself, you know, being committed to yourself and what's truly going to fulfill you, bring you happiness. There is an energy around you, though, that you're now starting to kind of like bring things back down to earth. I think you were going through a period of kind of destabilization and it threw you out of your element a little bit. Things have been a little ungrounded, but I feel like you're starting to see things more clearly. It's like things are settling now. The emotional waters got really turbulent for a while there. It was to like stir up a bunch of stuff that had been, you know, beneath the surface. It's sort of like when the waves get really wild, the water can become murky, right? We can't have that clarity. We can't see clearly ahead of us. And I feel like you went through a period like that, and it was very necessary. It was like too much stuff had been suppressed for so long that you weren't really understanding the hidden motivations that were at work in your life, in your situations, in your relationships. And then once this got stirred up, you suddenly had something to work with. You're like, okay, I see where the cleanup work needs to be done within myself. You started to realize at a certain point, I got to stop focusing on trying to get this appreciation from outside of myself, this validation from outside of myself, this acknowledgement from outside of myself. And instead, I need to start really bringing it home back into me. And I need to appreciate my own time more. I need to appreciate my own desires more. I need to appreciate what really interests me more. And you started placing the focus more here. Now, as you're starting to do this, as you're starting to drop more into your energy, you're actually coming more into your element. You're feeling more grounded. You're feeling more stabilized. And you're starting to realize, oh, the destabilization comes when I put the focus outside of myself. But once I get into my own energy, I start to untangle my energy from the energy of others. All of a sudden, everything just sort of like calms. So I feel like you're right on the precipice before everything starts to really shift and change in your life. And I do have this real strong sense with you, Virgo, that you're overcoming a lot of past stuff. And it's been difficult. It's been a really kind of arduous emotional process, but you're starting to bring yourself more into the present. You're starting to kind of like shed the past and look at how things are right now. In some situations, you realize it's your past perspective that's been getting in the way, or that's been blocking you from actually having fulfillment in this moment. And as you're starting to direct your energy in this way, it's changing everything for you. And that's a really, really beautiful thing. You're starting to feel more empowered. You're starting to realize that you can lay a new foundation, and it can begin right now. It can begin right now by looking at things as they are now, being willing to sort of like let go of the past programming and drop into this moment and start creating from this place. And I feel like you're really doing it on a fundamental level where your focus is on yourself and what you can build for yourself. You might even be doing this in terms of a romantic relationship where you're trying to achieve a little bit of autonomy within your relationship. Maybe give each other a little space to sort of focus on yourself and your own interests, and that this strengthens the relationship. I do feel like in a lot of cases you're dealing with a relationship. Those of you who are in some kind of committed relationship, one of the parties in this relationship is dealing with insecurities. They have some kind of insecurities that makes them feel guarded, uncomfortable, unable to really express their emotions or bring their emotions forward. This is what's causing the confusion. This is what's causing the instability. And there's something that has the opportunity to be healed here. I do feel like those of you who have been dealing with challenges in your romantic relationships or any other kind of important relationship, whether that be a friendship or a family connection, there's a real opportunity here for you to heal things, transform things, but a lot of it involves a new level of communication where both people have to show up. No pretenses, no guarding, just letting everything be seen as it is. It doesn't necessarily feel safe. It feels a little wobbly to head into that terrain, but it's what's needed. And I think you're about to come out the other side of what's been a really challenging cycle and start to get back on the same page with somebody. Start to step into your future with a fresh perspective, looking at things in a new way, seeing each other in a new way. And I think that has everything to do with you really getting back in your own element and realizing that even in the case of relationship, I don't need to lose myself. I can still have my own interests. There's more to life than just this. There's also my dreams, my desires, my goals, my creative energy, how I want to use this, how I want to express this in the world. And I think you found an avenue for this. I think you found a channel for it. If you haven't, you have started to really get a clear view of what that looks like. And I see you calling this in. This is what you're going to be manifesting. You're shifting more toward sort of like how you can create happiness for yourself. And I believe this has a lot to do with some kind of creative direction you're heading in your life in regard to your work, what that looks like, and also creating abundance, financial stability for yourself. It gives you a sense of personal empowerment. This makes a difference for you. You didn't realize how much there was imbalance in your relationships because of just earning power, or maybe your partner's been struggling with this. You know, somebody in the relationship feels like they're not on an even footing as far as being able to be in a financially stable place. This gets rectified. It improves the connection. It proves things in the relationship. Bottom of the deck energy. Right now, you're in this sort of like stalemate position. And I don't really feel like it's an intractable position. It's more like, wait a minute, we're going to put this on hold for a minute here because I need to get clear myself about a few things. And once I'm clear, then there will be the ability to move forward. This can be a blocking energy, but I'm actually not picking that up with this at all. I'm just really cueing into that moon in the background, that waning moon. Waning moon is often a time of releasing things. It's a time of letting things go. It's a time of allowing what new, fresh ideas came forward in the new moon cycle and came to a culmination in the full moon cycle to really have an opportunity to be integrated. Okay, so there's something that you're integrating right now. In order for you to integrate this, you need to have some space to yourself. It might be helpful for you to get some time out near a body of water where you can sit in reflection, get very clear without distractions. The need to, get away from distractions, maybe turn off the phone for a while, maybe, stay off social media for a while, maybe create some space for yourself, maybe hold your tongue for a moment before you respond to certain things, maybe creating more spaces in loaded communications where you aren't on the same page with somebody or where you can see somebody's really activated. Just giving some space to the situation, allow yourself to kind of step away for a moment, step away, get grounded, feel out what's coming up inside of you in relation to what the person on the other side of the table is bringing in. So we know that things have been a little bit on hold. Let's see what's coming in for you, Virgo. This is for any strong Virgo placement in the chart. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, or a strong sixth house placement. Okay, very significant placement in that sixth house, or a lot of planetary activity in that sixth house. You can find resonance with this message. We're looking at what is coming in for the Virgo collective throughout this eclipse season that began back on 420, will be playing out through October 14th, 2023. Some of the stuff that comes in this read, you may not be able to relate to. It is a predictive read. We're looking at a big span of time here, so we're also looking at what's going to be coming in down the pike. What is the work for the Virgo collective to do during this cycle? What are they not aware of? What's coming toward them? How can they take best advantage of it? Yeah, something's definitely on hold right now. Okay, I see that it's going to start to come out of that holding pattern. All right now, communications on hold because there's a lot of confusion. Okay, there's a lot of confusion. There's also a lot of trying to figure out the right words to express what you're really feeling. Okay, with that Seven of Cups, there's a little bit of confusion here and a little bit of disillusionment, a little bit of desires maybe kind of clouding things. Passions, desires may be clouding things. You may have been in a period in the past where you wanted to charge forward almost impulsively, just because you felt so lit up by something, it just really just captured your sense of inspiration, and it kind of felt very fantasy like, I would say. There's something that you were really drawn to that just, I don't know, it had a bit of a spell on you, it cast a bit of a glamour on you, and you were very drawn in by this. You were drawn in by what it made you feel. Maybe it breathed a little bit of magic into your reality. Maybe that's something that had been missing. It had become somewhat of a diversion, not recognizing the way that focusing on this thing and not actually moving things forward, communicating what you were feeling, taking actions in this direction, or even understanding what is it about this that has me so captured, captured my attention to this extent where I'm feeling so like taken over by this thing. It's almost like I feel like there's some kind of outside situation that came in to distract you, but the distraction was for a purpose. It was really to connect you with this feeling that this person, place, or thing was giving you. And it was something that's been missing in your life. And I feel like, maybe things have become a little bit too predictable for you. Maybe you feel like life's lost a little bit of its magic, a little bit of its allure. Maybe you felt like you haven't had any options. Things had become somewhat dull, boring. You were sort of like living on autopilot. And there was something about this situation that took you out of what had become very mundane for you and woke you up to a whole other part of yourself that you'd been disconnected from for a long time. It's like all of a sudden you were lit up with your imagination and thinking of all kinds of possibilities for your future, and something had you excited, and it got you out of your head, got you more into your heart, made you feel alive again. And yet there's also this piece of, it was such a disconnect from what's actually been going on in your day-to-day reality, that you let what really needed your focus, your attention, your care sort of just kind of like get swept under the rug. I believe that's that thud. I believe something happened to, like, snap you out of this sort of revelry, this place of being distracted by what you were fantasizing about. Something brought you back down to earth. There was some like harsh, wake up call from reality. This could have come through as a tower. It could have come through as an internal tower, just realizing how unsatisfied you are, how much what you got going on right now isn't really working for you. Realizing you've kind of been under a spell, you've been sort of like just phoning it in, you haven't been really connected to your experience. And I think it's once you really realize this, that, oh, I get it. I've created this situation in my life, or I've drawn this particular person into my life because they're here to wake me up to what's been missing within me, what's been missing in my life up until now. That gave you a different source of reflection. And I believe that's why you've been taking a break from communicating with somebody, okay? With this coming in reverse, you've been taking a break from communicating with somebody. You've been taking a break from moving something forward because you recognize that you got thrown into a little bit of confusion, that things started to look a little bit like smoke and mirrors back there. It's sort of like, it was fun at first, but then it was like you were walking through a fun house, and it's like everything that you were seeing reflected at you was a little bit distorted. That made you feel too destabilized, to the extent that you felt like, okay, I need to pull my energy back. I need to just put a hold on this just for a moment. It's like you put the brakes on something. And I feel like you put the brakes on something to get boundaries in place so you could sort of get grounded and like, hunker down. Just have some space to yourself where you could figure out what's really going on, like what's really going on for me here. Because at some point, whatever was like drawing you in, and it was alluring to you, it was also at the same time creating a certain level of anxiety within you. Like there was some kind of destabilization that was happening there, enough to make you want to like pull the reins. Okay. I feel like you're coming out of this. You're in the process of coming out of this. Okay. So, what does this look like as Virgo is preparing to, it looks like, move forward and bring forward some kind of communication? There's something you've realized. You see things more clearly now. You're not in this place of illusion anymore. You're not in this place of confusion anymore. Things have become very real for you. You're not in fantasy land anymore. You know what your true happiness is. You know who you want to come together with. Um, this is what's on deck. This is what's really coming forward for you. It looks like something's going to move forward. There's some kind of communication that's going to come in, some kind of truth that's going to be spoken that clears up confusion. Yeah, this is all coming. This all came in like at the crossroads, but it's coming out of that position. All right. So where you've been on hold, you're about to move out of that. Okay. Things are going to be moving forward for you. You very well could be dealing, because the Queen of Pentacles energy really came forward for me. This like Queen of Pentacles in reverse energy was what I was seeing in my mind's eye when I first like dropped into your energy, just as I was preparing your deck. I feel like, with this coming in, there's something that you've been overcoming in relation to the past. And I feel like it's some kind of insecurity that stems from the past when you feel like you put yourself out there to people, or you shared what you had to offer. This could be anything from sharing yourself creatively, or you had some kind of business idea, or just an idea, just something you wanted to contribute to the conversation, contribute to situations that you felt like nobody was interested in your piece, like nobody was interested in what you had to say or what you had to offer, what you had to bring forward. I also feel like this is in matters of the heart. Maybe there was somebody in your past that you felt like you gave them your heart, you wanted to offer them this love, you felt like they couldn't take it in. That's sort of like mirroring the energy of dealing with a partner who um, was too vulnerable, right? Too vulnerable to the extent that they felt like they had to protect that vulnerability because they were afraid that they would be hurt. So maybe you were trying to offer your love to somebody, but they just couldn't take it in. They wouldn't let it in. This person was still healing from something that they had gone through. They hadn't processed what they were going through yet. They were still in middle of it. Maybe you jumped into relationship with this person after they had just gotten out of something. There wasn't enough time for this person to integrate what they had already been going through, and because of that, they're not in a space where they can even receive your offer. They're not even in a place where they can receive your love because they're closed off. Their energy is closed off. They're in the process of healing something, you know? This coming forward very strongly. This person could be you. There could have been an opportunity that was presented to you. Somebody wanted to get to know you better. Somebody wanted to give you their love. You couldn't receive it. You couldn't receive it because you were still stuck on healing something from the past. You hadn't cleared all that energy from your memory bank. It's like memory is it's a blessing on one end, and then it can be a curse on another. It's like when we sit and stew about stuff that's happened in the past, when we stay focused on a past person, place, or thing, and that's what absorbs our attention, we stop being present with what's really showing up in our lives right now. And that alone can create a sense of disconnect from our experience and disconnect in our relationships. I do see the past has been factoring very strongly. Okay. There could be a Leo involved in this situation. This could also be about issues relating to the past that have to do with your level of self confidence. Okay. Your self esteem. Maybe there was somebody that you dealt with in your past that you feel really kind of like was a blow to your self confidence, to your self esteem. Maybe just who you were in the past. You didn't have a lot of self confidence. You're starting to get your confidence now. You're starting to understand that you do have something to offer. You are a person of value. You do deserve love. All of these things. I see you really. I mean, this right here, the strength card coming up shows that you are moving into a strong position. You do have the ability to overcome these past challenges. You're not who you used to be. You have a lot more courage than you did back there. I feel like you're gaining in strength. I feel like something used to have you in its jaws in the past. I mean, just had you in its jaws in the past. You just felt um, very overtaken by this thing. This thing had power over you in the past, and you've really had to look at that. And you've started to do something different than what you used to do. What you used to do is you used to make it about that person. Maybe in some cases you would place the blame on them. Ted just said yes. Okay. Instead, you started to internalize that, and you started to ask yourself, well, what is it about this person or this situation from my past that brings up these insecurities for me, or that has me feeling destabilized, or makes me feel like I'm not seen, I'm not acknowledged. And as you started to sit with this, you started to realize, oh, I get it. This person came around to highlight to me what I need to address in myself so I can have the courage, so I can have the self-esteem to really feel like my time is valuable. What I have to contribute does mean something, you know? I am worth something, you know? I deserve to bring my voice in. My contribution matters, you know? And it's you start to realize that you had projected something on another that wasn't anything they were really putting on you. It's just where you were at. And it's because the part of you is still left back there in the past and the way things used to be or where you were back then and your interpretation of situations. The more you came present, the more you realize, oh, this thing doesn't really have power over me after all. I've had everything I needed inside all along. This had you leveling up, okay? Had you leveling up. You're finding your strength. And I do feel like there's somebody in the past that threw you into a place of questioning as well with the lovers here. The lovers is all about having to make a choice. And we see the temperance angel here kind of presiding over things, reminding us to find the balance, reminding us that not all that looks alluring from the past is what it's cracked up to be. It's in the past for a reason, perhaps. Sometimes, though, there's something to salvage from the past. And what we do see with the lovers and with that temperance angel coming in for me is that there's something that you need to alchemize here. There's healing to be done here. And I feel that healing first begins with you before it really involves other people. And maybe there was an opportunity to heal something from the past that came forward for you, but you weren't ready to receive it because you first had to heal within yourself. Or somebody you're dealing with is in this position, okay? You got to pick what side you're on. But this is a place of really looking at things from a different angle. Somebody wasn't ready to take the opportunity to communicate, to heal. They weren't ready then. They weren't ready in the past. You weren't ready in the past, or they weren't ready in the past. You could have extended this invitation. Hey, I'm opening up a line of communication. Hey, I'm ready to heal with you. I would love to heal. I'd love to reconnect. This person wasn't ready. They had healing work to do. They were closed off to it. They weren't ready to do this. You don't know. Maybe they felt very ungrounded, when you came in with this. You don't know what was going on in this person's life. They needed to get their bearings. They needed to get their stability. Perhaps this was somebody coming towards you. You couldn't let it in because you were still looking at this person as they were in the past. And this was what was blocking the manifestation. I feel like what's coming in for you is where communication has been shut down, where there's been confusion. Things are clear now. You've become very clear, or the person you were dealing with has become very clear. They now know what it is for them. They're not stuck in that place of sort of sorting through options. You could have also been dealing with somebody who had a lot of options. They kept people, sort of on the periphery, like a just in case. Just in case this doesn't work out with you, I'm going to stay in touch with these other people so I can always have like a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. And again, pick what side you're on. That could be you. That could be you keeping your options open. Understanding how when you keep options open, that creates an atmosphere where there's no possibility to even have real commitment with a person. There is no opportunity to go deep with a person. That if you're always leaving a door open, if you're always keeping people on the periphery that you feel something deeper towards, that you have an attraction towards, whatever, that divides your energy, that already you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that's a lack of commitment, where you felt others haven't been committed to you. Maybe you haven't really been exemplifying that in your own stance. You've been talking to people that you have further interest in than just friends, okay? They've been talking to people that they have interest in beyond just friendship. Pick what side you're on. In some cases, it's the both of you. You're mirroring each other. You're mirroring each other. You're keeping options open. And as long as you're keeping options open, you're not all in. Now, what I get is for some of you, there's a reason for that. You're actually not really fulfilled in your present relationship. You're not really fulfilled with the person you're with, or they're not fulfilled. There may be a tower coming in around this for one or both of you, you know, around this, realizing this isn't where it's at for me. This isn't what's fulfilling for me. And there are some of you that are very much ending a cycle and you're taking a risk, and maybe you feel a bit foolish, but you can't help where your heart is leading you. You can't help the spirit adventure that's calling you forward now. It's almost like you got some kind of higher calling, and it doesn't really make sense, but you've done a lot of work and you shed a lot of stuff, and you're not holding on to the past disappointments anymore, or the past stories, or your past insecurities. You're ready to travel light. Look, the fool only has this little knapsack. That's it, you know. Yeah, you know that you got stuff nipping at your heels too, okay? You may have the past nipping at your heels. Maybe you have some past actions nipping at your heels when you could have done things better, maybe times when you were foolish in the past, okay? But this is all there that you're taking forward with you as a reminder that, you know, our lives are created and they're birthed in every moment. And just because, you know, you got these little things that sort of nip at your heels and gnaw at you about what happened back there, and oh, I could have done that better, or feeling foolish for something that went down in the past, or whatever's held you back in the past, I feel like you're getting beyond it. You're like, yap away. Maybe it's a person, you know? Maybe it's a person that's been nipping at your heels, that's been holding you back, that's been telling you, you know, oh, I don't know, be careful about doing that. You know, maybe you have like a friend, a well-meaning friend, or, you know, somebody who's been talking in your ear, trying to discourage you from taking the leap you want to take. Maybe you need to question why this person is trying to dissuade you from taking the leap you feel called to take, or vice versa. You know, you could have somebody that's wanting to take this risk with you. There's a past connection here. It's soulmate connection as well. A lot of you are heading in this direction that you have to. It's like you got a higher calling around this. You know you need to take the risk. And you also know that it's not about being in your head with it anymore, okay? It's not about being in this place of confusion in your head anymore. It's about, you know, turning this energy around. And it's a bit of that, you know, going towards what's actually drawing you in, what excites you. You don't know what it will bring. Notice that cup where, you know, who knows what's in that cup, right? You don't know what it will bring. And that's kind of the allure of it. That's what I'm really getting for you, Virgo. That's the allure of it, the fact that you don't know what will happen. It's like you're so tired of knowing what every single day and every moment of every day is gonna bring you. It's just the same shit, different day. Every day you get up at this time and you brush your teeth and you feed the critters, and you know, you take care of all the household responsibilities, and you go to work and you clock in at your job, and you know, you get your paycheck. Oh, it makes ends meet, you know, but I'm kind of bored with this work I'm doing, you know, not really feeling invested in it. And you have the same conversations with the same people day after day, talking about the same stuff. They're all talking about what happened back then, and that's all you can think about too, because you're surrounded by people who are all doing the same shit day after day. You're like, you're in a rut and you need to bust out of it. You know you have to. You know you have to. Some of you are being called forward, by a soulmate. There's a lot of stuff that happened back there. There's a lot of confusion. There's too many stories. There's too many people involved. The only way you're going to straighten this out is by actually like heading into that den and doing the work. It's like for some of you, it may feel like walking into the lion's den. Some of you may be dealing with a Leo. There may be a Leo that, you need to just face this thing squarely. You need to face this thing squarely. You need to stop, ignoring it. Maybe you do need to take it on. Maybe this person's all bark, no bite. Maybe they try to come off like they're real threatening, but the reality is we know in the strength card that actually this person has a lot of vulnerability. This person has a lot of hurt. This person is very afraid, cowardly lion energy. It's got this cowardly lion energy. Maybe you have done some work and you have come to a place where you can face this with compassion now. Okay. You can face this with compassion now, where somebody's being combative. You can understand, oh, they're actually feeling hurt. They're feeling hurt. They're feeling vulnerable. And I know this. And I know this because times when I've felt hurt and I felt vulnerable, I come off like that too. And so there's this willingness to have compassion. There's this willingness for communications and exchanges to come from a different place now. It wasn't possible before. It is now. You're doing this work. You're having this healing. I believe it has to do with a soulmate. Okay. Soulmates are not just romantic. Okay. Soulmates can also be really deep friendships. Soulmates can also be, family members. Soulmates can just be people that you're meeting for the first time, but you feel that soul recognition. And it's because this person is here to go through an important growth process with you. Right. So let's see what's coming in around this soulmate that's coming back around, this communication that's going to open up for Virgos. What does that look like? Give Virgos an idea of how this is going to be playing out for them throughout eclipse season. I want a different deck. Okay, what deck? This one? Paulina Tarot wants to come in. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. Two of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like this person has felt very imbalanced. All right, you're dealing with somebody who feels really imbalanced, or you feel very imbalanced every time this person comes around. It sort of throws you into this place of, really looking at things where you're like, should I do this or that? Should I say this or that? Is it this choice or should I make that choice? Is it this person or that person? Like for some reason, it throws you in this place where you start feeling confused. What if you headed towards this without looking at it as making a choice about anything? Maybe you don't even know what it's going to be. Maybe it's your ideas about what it's going to be that are causing the instability. Instead, you have to let things reveal themselves as they are. You can't really have things reveal themselves as they are unless you take the risk to open up and be vulnerable and be real. Okay, so there's something about this coming forward that this is what actually brings a certain level of stability, helps balance things out for you. Again, I feel like a lot of this has been on hold because there was this imbalance. It was not a stable enough of a foundation to move forward toward any kind of resolution or healing with this person or this situation. Okay. For some of you that have been single as a Pringle, you haven't been in any romantic relationship, you do have somebody from your past coming back around. This is somebody that's like a soulmate, okay? There's a healing process to go through with this person. This person, has been in a place of instability. They've been finding their balance. They've been trying to find their balance. They've been trying to balance out certain situations in their life. Things have been kind of a little chaotic. There's been some upheaval in their life. I also feel like you yourself, have been in a place where you've just been trying to get, your bearings, get your foundation in place. You've been trying to just create, your own stability, a lot of you financially, before you would even be ready to entertain this. You had more pressing, like practical matters. That's what I really got. Yeah. Three of Cups in reverse. Like, I get this message so strongly that there is an opportunity to heal something. You might be dealing with like some kind of triangulation situation. This could have been the problem in the past. There could have been like you know, multiple options, somebody played the field a bit. This could be what soured things in the past. This could also be somebody that you were married to before, okay, with Three of Cups in reverse coming up there, or this could be your person's ex that's factoring into this situation, right? You have to look at it um, from both sides of the equation, okay? Somebody here is dealing with this past influence and they're really working through it. But I feel like for you, this past influence is having a direct effect on you, and it's creating this kind of like confusion in moving forward towards your heart's desire. That's what's been the problem, but you're in a process of moving out of this. I feel like this was a missed opportunity for healing with somebody, okay? The opportunity was there in the past. You weren't ready for it, you weren't ready to receive it, they weren't ready to receive it. Somebody's ready to receive it now. I feel like this is what's turning around. This opportunity is coming back around the bend. Okay, so tell me about this opportunity for healing for Virgo collective that's coming forward in this eclipse cycle between now and October 14th. So we got quite a journey, a span of time, before this comes in. What does this healing look like, and who might this healing work involve? It would be wonderful if we could get like a court card on the board. Largely up to this point, this has been a very internalized process for you. We see there aren't any court cards on the board. This is something that you may have had intuitions about. You may have even felt like you received some kind of spiritual guidance about this, like you're supposed to connect with this person, supposed to heal with this person. You may feel energetically connected to this person. That card just happened as I was talking about this person. So, yeah, I mean, this is somebody that you definitely felt disconnected from. I feel it's like somebody that was cut off, or you felt cut off from this person rather abruptly. It's just like all of a sudden this person went cold on you, and that's the way things were left. Some of you may have even been ghosted by this person. They just straight up, came in to your life just like, a blaze of glory, igniting your fire, lighting you up. And then the next thing you know, just no more messages, no communication, no forward progression. Like they got all this stuff stirred up in you and now they're just gone, you know? You hadn't heard nothing from them. Okay, why is this person reconnecting, or why are you reconnecting if you're the one who did this and went cold? What's this reconnection about? What's happening with this reconnection? Somebody's coming in out of the cold. There's a reconnection happening here. Something at the crossroads here. What do we got? Yeah, somebody went cold because what they were feeling was overwhelming for them. It's like almost like the feelings were too activated. The feelings were too intense. In some cases, this person felt very burdened by what it would require for them to have growth in this connection with you. Some of them felt like they were chained to some kind of responsibility, some type of obligation that didn't allow them to pour energy, time, and energy into this relationship in the appropriate way, into this connection in the appropriate way. For some of you, this is related to an opportunity coming back around, that it like you got a hit on this in the past And for those of you that really is speaking to you, there was some opportunity that was presented to you, and you thought you were like a shoo-in for it, but you ended up missing out on it because you weren't stable enough at the time. You were dealing with something emotional, and you were in the process of really having to integrate that experience and heal. Now that you're getting more grounded, this opportunity is coming back around. In order to take this opportunity, though, you're going to have to drop some things. There is a choice to be made here with the Lovers. There's something you're going to have to let go of in order to move forward toward this opportunity and have this growth. And it's up to you. And I don't know why I got this with this card, but I'm noticing this like little magical looking rabbit character here. And it's making me think of the white rabbit at Alice in Wonderland. It's like, hey, you can come to Wonderland, but that means you're going to have to sort of like throw away all this stuff that's weighing you down. You'll never make it down the rabbit hole to go on this adventure if you got all this stuff you're carrying with you. There's something about not being weighed down. Maybe you're going to start doing some traveling too. You're going to start doing some exploring, but I'm really seeing this like travel light piece, right? With the knapsack, with the Fool. Look at how much you're currently carrying. When this opportunity for growth comes in, you got to lighten your load. I feel like you got to lighten your load emotionally. You got to lighten your load practically too. It might mean like dropping some responsibilities, dropping something else, dropping a sense of obligation you have to stick with something or somebody. I wanted to say, okay, this could be dropping a commitment. It could be dropping a commitment to a particular relationship. It could be dropping a commitment to a job. Something comes in, you want to grow this thing. Okay. Whatever's coming back around the bend, a person or an opportunity, you want, this. You want to invest in this, but you feel burdened because you feel weighed down. Somebody was feeling weighed down in the past, cut off in the past. We got Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck here, air sign energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius might factor into this situation. This might be a person you're reconnecting with. Okay, first court card on the board, air sign. Okay, so connecting with this person, what's this about? What's this about? This flipped up. What is this? Eight of Pentacles, somebody you stopped working with, okay? You're wanting to work things out. Yeah, here's a communication that comes in, okay? It's small. There's start of some communication here. Page of Cups energy, all right? This gets you working through things, okay? Things were at a gridlock in this connection, whatever role this connection is playing in your life. Make things clear about this. Show me more. Show me more about what's coming forward with this. And this could have been, like I said, a work opportunity with that Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You had an opportunity for this, but it got cut off maybe because you were going through like a separation. You were going through like an ending in a relationship and it was destabilizing you. Something's coming back around. You're getting a second opportunity, a second go at this. Woo! Two of Cups just flopped out here over that Five of Pentacles. What's here? Ooh, you got a relationship that's about to move forward with the Two of Cups coming in with the Chariot. I think it's been kind of crazy leading up to this. Look at this. And we got air and fire forward here. Okay. Also, I'm bringing it in because the air is tying in with this Queen of Swords. So I'm highlighting. You notice there's a very fiery horse. There's also this Pegasus here. So could be dealing with both air and fire signs in this situation. So that would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Leo has come up a few times here. This is a card also associated with Cancer. All right. These are all characters who could be involved in this situation. It was messy. Okay. It was messy. It's been messy. It's been confusing. Things haven't moved forward in the smoothest way, but they're about to move forward now. This is what came in as the crossing influence over this Five of Pentacles. Okay, I see something's been blocked up till now, but it's being overcome with the Two of Cups coming up. It actually flew out and landed on top of the Five of Pentacles here. All right, so where things have been at a standstill, where you felt cut off, something is transforming here. Something is moving forward. It might move forward a little awkwardly at first. That's what I got. Give me any more information you can about this. All right. This situation right now, it's not quite happening yet. It's in the process of moving out of this stuck position. That's what I got. Got like lots like crossing influence, just starting to move out of that stuck position. Yeah, somebody is getting the courage to move forward with this. Look, another lion reference. So this could be a Leo. Somebody is getting the courage here to step forward and issue some communication, take an action. That's what I got. This could also be some fear or some anxiety around a Leo that you're not wanting to deal with. You could be feeling like this person could be an issue, a problem in your situation, an issue or a problem with you coming into relationship with somebody. This may have been something that was kind of like putting up your hackles in this situation, had you feeling very stuck. Okay. I see that there's a moving forward though. This is not, fear's not holding back anymore. Anxiety's not holding back anymore. It also could be that this person, this Leo, I'm getting Leo very strongly. There was so much Leo significators on the board. They're overcoming a fear. They're overcoming a fear. Something's transforming here. This transformation allows things to move forward. I don't know why I got this here, but because of Cancer and coming in with Leo right after Leo like that, this could be somebody that's born on the cusp, strong Cancer Leo in their chart. Okay. All right. Let's do a cut of the deck energy. See what results. What results from this? The Magician in reverse and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, whoa. And it's weird because this was upright. These two cards were in reverse and this was upright. That like never happens for me in shuffling. That is very strange. You're deciding not to commit to something. You thought you were going to be committing to something and you're changing your mind. You're realizing it's not the new beginning you want. You're redirecting your energy. You're redirecting your energy. This has something to do with you're gonna end one situation to head to another. Yes, look at this. You got the Three of Swords, okay? Look at this, coming in with the Five of Cups in reverse, which means you realize that you want that lost opportunity. You want that lost opportunity to come into union with somebody, okay? To get back on the same page as somebody. You want that opportunity for healing. We know that's what you've been reflecting on with the Five of Cups there, okay? And you're not going to put it on hold anymore. You're ready to enter a new soul contract. You're ready to move forward. Wild. Very, very wild. Let me see. I just gotta do it. Let me get a super awesome future card for you all and see what comes up in relation to this. There's some of you too that are choosing to, renew your commitment. Maybe you were tempted to go back to somebody from your past, connect with somebody from your past, go back to an old work opportunity, apply it to your situation, and you're realizing that it's not really the new beginning you want. Maybe you're appreciating what you got. Maybe you're appreciating what you got more. Okay. And that's why we're going to pull out one of these super awesome future cards. Okay. I want to see how this is playing out. I don't know. I think you're heading on a new road, a new adventure with that yellow brick road there. You are bringing something to an end, so you can head off on an adventure towards somebody, something that feels like home. In terms of work, you're ditching, the Joe job and you're going for what really inspires you. Big success here. Okay. I'm also picking up this bull energy, Taurus energy here. year of the ox, somebody born in the year of the ox, you may be dealing with any of these characters in your situation, or maybe something's just been real stubborn and stuck for a long time. Could be Taurus has been real stubborn and stuck for a long time. Ooh, yep. You got temptation in the mix. You are tempted by something. I see it. You got the snake here. Okay. You got the snake here. Cut of the deck on here. You see? What are you going to choose? Woo! You're going on the adventure. You're going for the ride. And you'll like where this adventure takes you, man. It looks good. It's definitely a level up. Enjoy.